do not lower the bar. And if we talk about it like that, I can say we are definitely talking about boundaries, saying no, all of that good stuff. So there's not going to be any scripture with this one in particular. I'm probably going to really work on doing a podcast tonight. So scripture I will definitely have for that. But this I just wanted to share for some people that might be finding this time of cuffing season a little bit challenging, because it can be, especially if you don't have someone, or you might be looking at someone and they just don't see you that way. They just don't. So uh, you want to not allow them to allow you to feel a kind of way about yourself, right? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about not lowering the bar. So here we go. Now, you can be used by anyone for anything, right? It doesn't have to be money or anything like that. It could be just anything, anything at all. Now, some people, they don't really value you the same way. And, that might be hard to take. And they may say that, you know, they respect you. However, it might not be totally received that way, because they could call you or you could call them, and maybe on your end you enjoy talking to them, you could talk to them for hours, but on their end they just want to rush you out the phone. They don't really need to talk to you longer than a certain point. Why? Because you are not that important to them. Now they might say, yeah, of course you're important, of course you're valuable, but for you, the person on the other side of that, you just need to make it a little bit less easy for them to have access to you. So if they show you who they are, like people have said before, if they show you who they are, believe them as well as what they say, right? You don't want to question it. Just believe what you see, because actions are key. So you don't want to really invest all your eggs or all your time into that person. You want to get around other people, meet others. Hey, cyber shots, how are you? You want to meet others. You don't want to just continue just to think that that person is so involved in you, so engaged in you, and they're really not. The statement might be, I really don't see you like that. You cool people and stuff, but I ain't feeling you that way. You're like, okay, you might have to change how you see them as well. If you used to see them as this, well, I like to call it, and if people have also called it that unrequited love. If you see them that way, you might have to change how you view them. You might have to change that so you're not feeling that pain, that hurt all the time. Because unrequited love, it sucks. It's not good when you love someone, they don't feel that way. Like, yeah, I don't feel that way about you. I don't like you. It does suck. Okay. Yes, and it's not healthy either. You have invested all your time. It's very sad. You've invested all your time falling in love with this person, trying to share your time with them. And just like I told you, I don't really like you like that. So, like, but they want to still have access to you. And sometimes you got to cut that off. Sometimes you got to cut off the access, because, see, that's still kind of messing with that unrequited love, right, Stevie Wonder? That's kind of messing with that. You got to have to do something. And I was watching, I think I've told this story before, watching this movie called The Holiday, where there was a situation like that in the movie where she loved this guy so much, thought that he loved her the same way, and he really didn't. He wanted to go marry someone else. And so, yeah, he wasn't her pick. She liked him and he was not her pick. He did not want her. So she needed to do something about that. And what did she have to do? She had to go get herself engaged in some other things. She had to go and find another person to engage with and discover other things about herself, and then get involved with another person that she was helping to do some things. Like, we have to take our time back. And when I say that, you want to recapture your time that you have in your mind invested into this person. Like, you could be just doing your life and your mind still has them in there. You need to remove that. So what do you do? What do you do if you've fallen for a person who clearly does not feel the same way? You have to make up in your mind. You have to do that. You have to make up in your mind that you are finished having this idea, this ideal about who they are. If you got to change their name in your phone, do that. Call them something else. You don't have to call them derogatory names, but you could say, you know what, no access guy, or don't answer right now. Whatever it is to let your mind start to understand this is not the one that I need to share my time with. Because, see, when someone does come into your life that needs all of that time and attention, and in your mind, you don't have this person like taking up your space in your mind. You don't want that. You want all of that space to be for the Lord, of course, and then that person, not with some other person that doesn't like you like that in the first place. You need to get rid of all those old feelings, put them down, get away from them, right? So you don't have to keep going on with that. So, first thing, how do you do that? And I talked about it a little bit before. First thing is access to you. Too much access opens up that kind of unrequited love wound, if you can understand that. It kind of opens those emotions up again. You don't need that. So start to be unavailable. And it's a bad habit. Exactly. It's a habit that needs to be broken, right? You got to retrain your mind not to see them in that light. You have to do that. So the less that you have the chance of being hurt that way that you specifically have viewed them. They didn't do that. You have to break it and move on. Exactly. You have to break it and move on. Not that they're not a good person, not that they're not worth it, but they don't like you. So why have that time vested in them? Even when they call, instead of them rushing you off the phone, you rush them off the phone. Because if you notice that they do that, they might be treating you like some other people that they've told you that they treat people like that in their life. And if they start to treat you like that, you're like, oh no, like I don't need to be treated like that. I'm so much better than that. And I'm allowing you to do that. Capitalize back again your time, because people will do that. And if you don't stop it, you can end up being hurt. And it's not like anything they did to you, you're doing it to yourself. So you don't want to do that. So you figure out other things and don't share so much of your life with them. They might call and say, hey, how's it going? What's up? And you start to tell them, like, okay, well, that's nice. I just called to tell you X, Y, Z, and third. Okay, I got to get it out of here. Bye. Like, you just don't want to be in that situation. Like, wow, okay. And you end up feeling salty. You end up feeling a little bit jaded. You don't want to have those emotions towards that person, because if they are supposed to be your friend, then keep them in the friend zone. Lock them in the friend zone nice and tight and never let them come out. Just keep them in that friend zone locked up. And whatever romantic feelings that you thought that you had, discard them within the quickness. And like I said, access is key, because that person that has so much access to you, they can have things come up, that emotion can rise again. So lay it down. And like I said, I've had that happen before to me. I had that happen with a gentleman that I thought liked it, and he told me, he was like, oh no, I know what you might think because we're talking a lot, we're praying together a lot, but yeah, I don't think about you like that. I was like, oh my gosh. And that hurt. It hurt, but I had to get over it. And it's happened a few times, right? But it'll get easier as you figure out, okay, this person is not into me, just buck up. It's okay, buttercup, suck it up and move on. So there's a second thing that might be helpful. So, secondly, meet new people, meet a lot of new people, be involved with other people, other things that have interests with you, and engage in developing new friendships and just new people. Like sometimes when you don't engage, like during the pandemic, a lot of people were isolated and didn't get to socialize like they like. That was a little bit challenging. Zoom is okay, but being amongst people in person is way different, right? So definitely find other people to engage in, no matter what it is. Find some things that you want to do for you with other people that will care about you, and it doesn't have to be romantic. They just like your presence. They like to hear from you, and they really are encouraged by some of the things that you share, some of the things that you say, and they really want you to be a part of what they're doing. Seriously, they really want to be a part of what you're doing. They don't just want to randomly call you or use you for other things. They really want you to be a part of what they're doing. Right? So you want to make sure that you remember that there are people out in this world that doesn't have to be unrequited love, but it will be people that really do value you and care about you, not in a way that says, you know what, maybe this person is just close to me so I can show them some things. And then after that, they really don't care, right? Because sometimes you got to know when that's happening. And if you do recognize it, access, like I think that's the major thing. Access is so huge. When people don't value the access to you, they can abuse it. They can abuse you in a way that you are not going to be able to really recognize it. And so just just deny that, just deny that, limit the time that you're in there. And thirdly, limit how much of your life you tell them about. Keep some things that you used to share with them. Keep that stuff to yourself. Don't share everything with them. And if you got problems and things that's in your life and you used to share your problems and things like that with them, don't do that anymore because really they don't care. They used to care. They might give you a couple little hints of ideas of things that you can do, but basically, they don't really care. They weren't really calling you to hear about your troubles and your woes and all that. And they're not really vested in you like that, right? So take that part away too. Take the access, take the more personal part of your life because you see that still has a way of that's an intimate sharing, right? Of what's going on in your life. Like for me, I have got kids, and sometimes people might call and want to ask about my kids, but they really don't want to. Okay, have a good one, Steve Wonder. They really don't really want to talk to you, right? They just don't really want to do that. They just use that as an in, and then they're talking about whatever they want to talk about, right? So sometimes you gotta limit that. So at that we have to sometimes find and have people that we do want as friends that are interested, but we just keep some of them at bay. Like good friends you can share stuff with, but you don't always share everything. And certain people that have access and have that ability to hear some of your personal life, sometimes you need to pull that back. So sometimes this takes pulling back and only talking to them on certain days when you feel to. Take your power back. Take all of that back. So I gave you three things that you can do, right? And I think that's the three because I did talk about it. So access, meeting new people, and limit how much time, how much of your life that you share with them. So all those three things will work. So I know it's helped me a bunch. So I'm absolutely going to be also utilizing it a little bit more for some certain people in my life as well. But it does work. So you also change their name in your phone, change it to something else, whatever it is, to remind you for a while to retrain your mind about what it is. You don't need to block them, just change whatever their name is in your phone, change it to something else. So it's like a little reminder to you. Leave a little message on your phone, like you can leave a memo on your phone when they call, and that can help too. So I am sure you will be free of that whole false feeling. And of course, dare I say it again, that unrequited love that starts to sneak up. Because this is cuffing season, this is a holiday season. Sometimes there is those old emotions that start to creep up, right? Because that is going to be a thing. It is biological, it is the season. Follow the law, you want a friend, right? But you don't have to fall for that. You don't have to fall into that kind of trap, so to speak. So just find other people to talk with and do that. So there was a gentleman that had discussed this before, and I was watching him talk about it, and he said he went through the same type of thing. And he said what he had to do, he really had to stop seeing that individual that he liked in a certain type of way. And it took him some time, but he said after a while it worked. So coffee season can bring up old emotions, like I said, for any type of person that you may have longed for. And it may remind you of old good times. But listen, you need to remind yourself that it's over again and over. You need to remind yourself that that's why do not need to have any romantic feelings for that person whatsoever. And if you need to put on there that I don't really like you like that, if you need to put that on your phone or whatever, you need to remind yourself, because if they don't like you like that and they never liked you like that, do not get suckered into thinking that they will and they will change their mind, because it will never, ever, ever happen. So I'm going to get out of here. I just wanted to share that. Don't lower the bar. And if you did, it's time to bring it back up and try to limit that access, trying to also meet new people, and time to limit how much about your life that you share with that person. Some people don't really value it, nor do they respect it. So make sure you take your time back, empower yourself, and encourage yourself to get out there and meet new people. And then you will get done with that unrequited, nasty little love. So, you guys take care. Remember, I am T. Drake, your podcasting godmother of connection. Remember to be blessed, motivated, and always inspired to do what the Lord lays on your heart. And you guys have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.